Welcome to the Go Slow to Go Fast Lifestyle Podcast, the space where we breathe deeply, live more intentionally, and find meaning in the messy middle of life. I'm your host, Kendra Chapman, mom of triplets, busy professional, caffeine lover, and big believer in slowing down so we can show up fully. If you're a busy human navigating career, family, life changes, or all of the above, then you're in good company. Around here, we don't chase perfection. We build rhythms that support peace, clarity, and joy. Today, I'm absolutely thrilled to introduce a guest who embodies the Go Slow to Go Fast philosophy in a profound way, especially when it comes to our health. We have with us today Madison Sutton, a certified integrative health and wellness coach, also a functional diagnostics and nutrition practitioner. Madison specializes in helping women under 50, particularly those in high-stress careers, reclaim their health and, in turn, take control of their lives. Her approach blends functional testing, practical tools, and mindset coaching, allowing busy women to prioritize their well-being without sacrificing their ambitions. Madison, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you?
I'm doing really well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Madison. It's great to see you, and I know that our listeners are going to get so much out of our conversation today. Thank you for being here. So, Madison, your journey from high-stress corporate career to becoming a health and wellness coach is incredibly relatable for so many of our listeners. And you've mentioned that your path wasn't that straight, and there was a wake-up call that inspired your personal journey. So can you tell us more about those moments and what they were like and what truly ignited your passion to help others take control of their health?
Yeah, absolutely. I had a pretty long, I feel like, road. I had a lot of things that led me to eventually leaving my job and deciding I wanted to be a health and wellness coach. I started this, or this became like sort of an idea or something that interests me back in my early 20s when I was dating somebody that was diagnosed with an autoimmune condition. So it's something that really sparked my interest, 10, 15 years ago. And it's how I have tried to live my life ever since then. I think something that I probably mentioned to you, when we were speaking earlier, even though I was living my life in a very holistic way, I was trying to eat well, exercise, I was in a stressful job. And I found that even though I was doing a lot of the right things that you're supposed to do, that you're told to do to promote your health, I was still having a lot of issues with my health. I struggled personally a lot with insomnia. I had my own digestive issues that I worked through. I had some weight gain that I struggled with. So a lot of things that you see people struggling with. And even as somebody that was very knowledgeable of the health space, I could not figure this out. And about 3 years ago, my father ended up being diagnosed with cancer. And I think that was sort of the last thing for me. I had this little pull, this thing just in the back of my mind that I'd been fighting off for years, saying, this is what you want to do. Like, this is something you've been interested in for a really long time, and this is the last straw. This is what you need to do. And it was sort of hard for me to come to terms with this because I was really good at my job. I was a leader on my team. I was doing really well. My job had led me to some really beautiful things and experiences and really helped me create a life that I did not think was even possible for me when I first graduated college. So there was that could probably be a whole different conversation in itself, just like trying to let go of that identity to follow something that you feel really passionate about. And I started kind of figuring like, how am I going to do this? And I wasn't fully committed to it. And then about 6 months before my dad passed, I ended up just having a complete shutdown. I think it was largely due because I came to the realization that he was going to pass. And that combined with the stress that I had been putting on my body with work was just too much. And it really resulted in me having a pretty much complete nervous system shutdown. And with all of my holistic health experience, I did not know how to fix that. I did not know what to do with that. So that led me, and I saw a naturopathic doctor, did a lot of testing. I was doing acupuncture and all these different therapies and just getting nowhere. And that's what ended up leading me to get my functional diagnostics and nutrition practitioner. I was like, well, they can't figure it out. I'm going to figure it out because I knew that I just could not operate like that. So it's been many things that have led me to this. I do really feel like I've been pushed in this direction for quite some time now. But for me, the last straw was really experiencing it physically myself and being really confused that I was having such strong physical symptoms because I had always prided myself on being so healthy. But at the end, stress really, I think, was the culprit.
Thank you so much for sharing that story about your loved ones. I'm so sorry for your father's loss. I can't imagine what that was like. And it's such a powerful story. And I think so many women will resonate with that, feeling like they've been prioritizing work and really they do that until life forces us to pause, right? And it sounds like those experiences truly highlighted the importance of shifting from a reactive mindset to a proactive one where it comes to health. So, could you elaborate on why that shift is so crucial for women, especially busy women?
Yeah, they were. And I mean, honestly, I don't think my family really understands. They're like, what are you going to do? You're going to leave your job and do what? Even my dad, he was very confused. But I'm a big believer in intuition and doing what feels aligned and what feels right for you. And just even becoming a coach, I thought I wanted to work in certain areas with gut health. And I think my dad passing and my own physical issues with my nervous system that I had to get through completely changed where I wanted to focus. And I mean, it's been a evolution for sure.
So, now that we understand the why behind how you started in this profession, let's dive into the how. You specialize in helping women navigate challenges like stress, hormone imbalance, and preconception health. So, for our listeners who might be feeling stuck or have tried many things without seeing results, what makes your approach to health coaching different? And how do you help them identify and address the root causes of their health challenges?
Yeah. Well, I think we're in a place right now where we are seeing chronic health issues just skyrocket in all age groups, especially in younger groups. I mean, you know, you kind of expect people as they get older to have health issues. Those numbers are still increasing. There is still a growing issue there, but it's really alarming to see it happen with younger people. And really, I started this because I believe in preventative health. And I've seen what it looks like when young people lose their health and they lose their careers because they lose their health. And I just am such a strong believer that if you don't have your health, you truly don't have anything. You really don't. So I try to, really help them teach or really help them learn these are the preventative measures that you need to take to not just reverse your symptoms and maybe your chronic condition that you're having, but also make sure that you are well really through the rest of your life. And it's not something that it's not something we're taught. It's not something that we just instinctively know how to do, which is kind of wild. You'd think it would be, sort of in our nature to know what we need to survive, but it seems like it's not right now.
So, knowing that stress is definitely a root cause of many of the symptoms that you see in your patients, your clients, that personalized root cause approach sounds exactly like what many of our listeners probably need. How does chronic stress impact health, particularly for women in high stress careers? And what are your go to practical strategies for managing stress that busy women could implement?
So most of my clients do come to me with like some sort of physical symptom. A lot of women, they're very interested in weight loss, even women that are maybe battling some deeper chronic issue. It seems like on the surface, weight loss it's always a symptom of being metabolically unhealthy or having some sort of chronic issue oftentimes. So it always starts with the physical, but what I have found is it's not really in the physical healing that I see the most results. So I really try to take a very holistic approach. Being a functional diagnostics and nutrition practitioner, I do lean into functional lab testing. And like I said, I've been to a naturopathic doctor. I've, been to regular doctors, and they don't do the right testing. They just don't do the right testing. They don't do things. They don't give you information that you can actually take action on. So what I like to do with women is really look at all areas of the body, like physically, where do we have imbalances in our body? And what is potentially causing those imbalances? And yes, it's food. Oftentimes, yes, it's the type of exercise or how you're moving your body, but it's at least 50%, if not more. Are you aligned? Are you happy in your day to day? Are you happy with your job? Are you happy with your partner? So there is always the mental, emotional, and spiritual side of wellness that I think we very much overlook, that plays a tremendous role in health and wellness. So it's really about looking at all of those things. You can go to somebody that specializes in diet or fitness, but you're only going to be fixing one aspect. I think it's very important to look at the whole person when we are talking about creating or really rebuilding health.
How might they start reclaiming their health, even with a packed schedule?
Yeah. For a lot of women, and some of the women that I talk to that are entering into menopause or postmenopausal, there's such a big hormonal factor to it. And it never fails. I've been actually interviewing a bunch of women in the corporate space. I've probably talked to 50 or 60 women since April. And so many of them say the same thing. I'm trying to eat well. Maybe they're doing intermittent fasting, which I'm just not really a fan of for women. They're trying to go to the gym, exercise, walking, and they're sitting there going through this loop of what can I do better with my exercise? What can I do better with my diet? And they're not getting anywhere. They've been doing this for a year. They've been doing this for 2 years, maybe more, and they are not getting anywhere. And on the physical side is oftentimes hormone related or stress related. It's also probably stress. I mean, I say stress, and we think about stress as being a mental and emotional thing. it can also be a physical thing. It's the stress that you've put on your body for not eating in a way that works for your body. It's eating dairy, even though you know you have a dairy allergy. So it's anything that's impacting your body in that negative way. So it's really taking a look at what are the stresses that you are putting on your body, whether they're physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, whatever it might be. And oftentimes they're also just completely overexerting themselves and extending their energy into places where it does not need to go. I spoke with a woman today and she was just fatigue. That is such a big thing. Not feeling like sleep is helping, not sleeping well, feeling like you need coffee all day and then you need wine to go to sleep. You just don't have energy to devote to the things that you want to do. And it's because you're devoting so much of your energy into things you do not want to do, or things that are not aligned with you, or that do not feel good for you, or you're in a male dominated industry and you are raising your hand for every single project because you feel like you need to prove your worth when really you probably don't. But, society has, kind of created that issue.
Madison, your message that you have the power to change your own health and your own life is incredibly empowering.
Yeah. I think women are experiencing stress on their bodies from every direction right now. It's poor food. Even if you're eating well, it's toxins in your food, toxins and things that are in your home, and you can drive yourself crazy worrying about that. And so it's the physical stressors that we're being impacted by. And in order to overcome those physical stressors, we're putting so much mental load on ourselves. So our bodies really are in survival mode. And what happens when your body's in survival mode? It stops resting well, it stops digesting, and it holds on to fat because it is trying to protect you. So many moms, um, I don't have a single mom friend that feels like she's doing a good job. And yeah, what does that say? And they're all doing amazing jobs. They're amazing moms. Their children are all happy and healthy, and they never ever think that they're doing enough. And it's because they're following people on Instagram that have full teams behind them. Everything is staged, and it's just not real life.
Yeah, that definitely makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So, two things that I want to kind of call out here. I see this a lot in younger women that maybe are new moms or have young kids. I think it is so, so critical to have a partner that is supporting you. And I also think it's very important that you ask for support from that partner. I see a lot of women saying, I don't have time to go to the gym. I don't have time to take care of myself. And they're also not asking their partner for help. And it's very easy for us to say, oh, well, I'll do it better. He doesn't know how to do it. He's going to get the laundry wrong or whatever. Last time he picked up the kids, it was a disaster. And you know what? Maybe there was a bit of a learning curve for some of those things that you've been doing, but there's a reason that you are in this partnership. So I think a very simple thing is having that conversation with your partner. Can we share this responsibility of parenting and running the house? Can we share that? Because we both have full-time jobs. Um, I think, I don't want to say that that's anybody's fault, because I think there are plenty of partners that are very willing to step up. And I think maybe it's not always the case, and that's a whole different discussion. I think as women, we want to provide in that way. And I think it's a little bit hard for us to ask for help. So I think the first thing is just asking your partner for help, or asking your friend that lives down the street, or your sister. I babysit my nephews all the time for my sister. Just asking for help when you actually need it. So I think that's one thing. And then I think trying to go back to those energy givers. We spend a lot of our day trying to think about, what do I need to do? And for women that are trying to lose weight or are trying to be healthier, they're like, I need to go to the gym. I need to do this. I need to do that. What do you want to do? Like, what is going to give you energy in a different way? Yes, you may get some endorphins from going to the gym. Yes, that may help you with mental wellness. Some people have figured out that exercise is really not about physical wellness as much as it is about mental wellness. It's important for both. But what can you do to fill your cup from a joy perspective? Is that having a conversation with your best friend? Is it going on a walk with your best friend? I would suggest going on a walk with a friend all day over going to the gym. Can you do night? Can you go get your nails done? Can you say, babe, will you take the kids for 30 minutes? I want to read my book. Like, what can you do to recharge your battery? And know yourself. I'm an introvert. I am not going to have my battery recharged by going to a networking event or being in a social situation. I need to sit outside. I need to meditate. I need to journal. I need to go on a walk by myself. And I know that. So asking yourself those questions, what brings me joy? What lights me up? What refills my battery? I think that helps tremendously.
To make it even more concrete for our Go Slow to Go Fast community, those are fantastic reminders that we need to ask for help and that we need to think about, reflect on what brings us joy. Many women feel disempowered by their health challenges. So, how do you help your clients shift from that feeling of being stuck or fearful to truly believing in themselves?
Yeah. So I like to say that I help women unlearn the hustle and really take back their life, take control of their life. And I think when we are in maybe the age range of like 30 to 55, it seems like that's when we lose it a little bit. And that's when it starts to feel like our health is declining. And that can be a really slippery slope. And because of that, it really comes out in a physical way. I think our bodies really hold the score. So I am here to help women that feel like they have lost control of their health. And my ultimate goal is to help them, one, regain control of their health, but even larger than that, regain control of their life and their happiness, and put it on the trajectory that they actually want to be on. That is always my goal.
Well, Madison, thank you so much for all of your insight into how taking control of your health really does empower areas of your life, like confidence and career success or even relationships. So, for our listeners, how can they find you? And what do you offer right now as part of your coaching practice?
The best way to reach me is just through my website. You can sign up to schedule time with me. All of my information is on there. What I offer women is on there. All of my different programs that I do. I typically work with women in 5-month programs. I like to really hold their hand, make sure that they're making positive progress. I'm not a believer in meeting with somebody one time. You're not going to make any progress if I meet with you one time. And I'm very dedicated to the women I work with actually achieving the goals that they set out to achieve.
Madison, your insights today have been truly transformative. You've given our listeners so much to think about and so many practical ways to start their own journey of reclaiming their health.
Yeah, I think the biggest message that I want people to take away is that you are always in full control of your health in your life. And sometimes it can seem really daunting and seem like you've been trying and getting nowhere, but there's always a solution. Maybe you just have not found the right one yet.
Yes, thanks for coming. Thank you for your time. Thank you for helping us to understand that health is not a destination, but a lifelong journey, and one that truly allows us to go slow to go fast in every aspect of our lives.
All right. Thank you.
So that's it for today's episode of the Go Slow to Go Fast Lifestyle Podcast. I hope you feel inspired and empowered by Madison's wisdom to take proactive steps towards your own well-being. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What's one health habit that you're going to do to go slow on this week to make purposeful progress? What was your biggest takeaway from Madison's insights today? Let's keep the conversation going and connect with Madison. You can find Madison on her website and on Instagram, and her information will be in the show notes. And of course, you can always connect with me at www.coachingwithkendrachapman.com or at coachingwithkendrachapman on Instagram. Definitely DM me and let me know how your journey is right now and how you're doing. Tag me in your moments of intentional living. I want to see your version of purposeful progress. And like Madison says, it's not a one and done. She likes to hold your hand through the process. So if you want to know more, definitely check out her information. And let's walk through this season together. Whatever season you're in, with confidence, purpose, and a little extra grace. And if you've loved this episode, share it with a friend. I hope you'll share it with everybody you know who's trying to get their wellness on the right path. As always, I hope that you remember that the light in me honors the light in you. And as you head into the rest of your week, let your light shine through. And remember, go slow to go fast. Thanks for listening.